Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. So glad you're here. What do we got going on? Well, they're trying to push that market higher, right? They're trying to get that 40,000 print on the Dow. If they can get to 40,000, publish that. That's a win for the Biden administration, right? He's made the market go up. Look at this market's fake based on fake money, but can it go higher? Absolutely. As long as we're above that 50-day, they can push it to a new record high, right? Now, if you're going to short the market, I'd wait for it to drop below the 50-day. And if you're not in it right here and you do want to go long, I'd wait for it to pull back to the 50-day. We're getting a little bit overbought right now. You see, we've been going up, but we've been doing it on light volume. The volume's been going down. That way you may get some heavy volume today. We got Jerome speaking and stuff. The CPI number just came out, so we could get heavy volume today. But this run up in the market to a slightly oversold, overbought condition has been on very light volume. Expect a little bit of a pullback. We'll see if the 50-day can hold, and then we can make that new high, get that 40,000 print on the Dow, and we'll see where we go from there. This is just my take. Yours is probably completely different. You do you, I'll do me. Let's get over to the real estate market now. A lot of these economists, they come out and they say there's not going to be any housing crash, right? Okay, well, maybe they're right, but I don't think so. Let's talk about it. All right, so Lawrence Yun, he's the chief economist, the big chief, if you will, at the National Association of Realtors. And, well, Larry, he came out and he says that even if layoffs compromise the ability to afford their mortgage and they flood the market with a lot of houses, he does not expect prices to substantially drop. If they flood the market with a lot of houses, Larry doesn't think prices will drop. Look at house prices, they're sold on the margin, right? The first guy makes it out up here, the next guy here, the next guy here, the next guy here. If there's a flood, it's going to be an elevator down. We've taken the stairs up. We're going to get that elevator coming down in prices, right? But not according to Lawrence Yun. He thinks that, that this will be a very modest decline, even if the market's flooded with houses due to layoffs and people can't afford their mortgage. So what do they do when they can't afford their mortgage? Well, they try to refinance it, but they can't refinance it. They're locked in at 2.8, so they can't refi because the refi is going to be up here around 8%. They go from 2.8, which they can't afford now, to 8. They're out, right? They can't get it done. But don't worry, that government, they got that plan. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they're coming into the HELOC business. They're going to have $2 or $3 trillion to deploy in the HELOC. You can borrow up to 100% of your equity, right? Maybe 125% even. They don't care. They just want to deploy the money. This will not end well, but look at if the market gets flooded because of layoffs and they have to sell their house, prices are going to free fall, Larry. They're not going to be a modest decline. It's going to free fall. Houses are sold on the margin. They see houses are not really worth what they are, but there's no price discovery. Nobody knows what a house should sell for right now. We don't really know. Why? Because there's no inventory, right? There's no houses for sale. Once you get the houses for sale, we're going to find out what that price discovery is. Now, I think these economists, they're telling you that there's not going to be any crash because they want you to FOMO into the market. They don't want you to miss out. They need you to come into the market to hold it up here. But once you get price discovery, we'll find out that in my area, the $3 million homes, they're not even worth $1 million. But we'll find that out eventually. But shh, don't tell anybody. Secret between me and you, right? Look at it. Okay, let me talk about one. Here's some price discovery. Okay, now a lot of people don't understand what I mean by price discovery. They say, Mike, of course my home's worth $3 million. That's what I bought it for. Why wouldn't it be worth $3 million? Well, because you're the bag holder. You're the one that bought at the top. And then when things get adjust to where we find out what the real price is, it's probably going to be down about 40 or 50% from here. Okay, so how do I know this? Well, let's talk about it, right? All right, so in commercial real estate, we're starting to have some price discovery, right? Okay, so the tallest building in Fort Worth, Texas. Tallest building in Fort Worth, Texas, only about 40 floors, right? Only about 40 floors. Well, 4 years ago, this building, it sold for $137 million. $137 million. Well, that sounds about right. 40 floors, $137 million. Fast forward 4 years, they got some price discovery. What happened? Well, they had to sell it at an auction. How much did it go for, Tall Mike? Well, it went for about $12 million. $137 million turned into 12 million. I think 12 million, probably a pretty good deal. I think they're going to do okay, right? But 4 years earlier, they're paying 137 million because that's what they thought they were worth then. But today, they realize it's only worth $12 million. This is going to happen to the housing market. It's not happening yet. I agree with that. We don't have any price discovery in the housing market, right? There's no price discovery. We don't know what these things are really worth. We'll find out. I promise you that. I promise you. You get the layoffs, you get interest rates 10, 12, 14%. We're going to find out what a house is really worth. It's going to be very fascinating. Now, these economists, right? You see, they say that there's not going to be a crash, but they don't know. Actually, they probably do know. They're probably lying to you. That's just my take. Larry can't be that dumb where he thinks that if there's a flood of houses coming onto the market that we'll have this little modest decline. Really? I mean, I don't see it that way, right? I mean, any economist that has gone to any economic school, even with the modern ones, the modern monetary theory, you can just print money all you want. And that's why we have no price discovery, right? We've just printed the money into oblivion. Look, we're 35 trillion in debt. It's much worse than that, much worse than that. We got another 120 trillion in unfunded liabilities just in Medicare and Social Security. So that's $150 trillion, right? That's a lot of money. But Mike, nothing bad's happened yet. We could probably get up to 300 trillion, maybe 500 trillion. Maybe we can print a quadrillion and nothing bad's going to happen. We're the United States of America. Hyperinflation could never happen here because we have that reserve currency. And that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. Just because nothing bad's happened yet, I say it's on the horizon. I didn't say it's actually imminent within the next 3 years. I think you're going to see that bad stuff. I think you're going to see price discovery. But here's the thing. Any economist that has studied economics, they understand that we always, 100% of the time, revert back to the mean, right? Now, if you revert back to the mean in the housing market, you're going to come down by 40% from where we are now. 40% drop from where we are now. Now, a lot of areas are already down 5 or 10%. I get that, but that's nothing yet. It's just starting. We're still in that first inning in the housing market. Now, in the commercial end of things, we're finding out what price discovery means, but people don't get this. Here's what people don't get. Everything is intertwined. Everything is tied together. Look at the stock market, the bond market, real estate market. It's all propped up. It's all propped up, right? It's all propped up with fake money, money that we print out of thin air. If things start to go down, they just print a little more money and we'll get that up. It's really not going up though, right? It's just the purchasing power of your money's going down. Same with the stock market. People think the stock market's going a lot higher. It's really not going up. You look at it compared to gold, it's going down. Gold is real money, right? For all of this century, right? Since the year 2000, gold has outperformed the stock market. They won't talk about that on mainstream media. Why? Why don't they talk about that? Well, because they can't make money selling you gold, right? They can't make money. They need these hedge funds to come out there and sell you all these financial products. If they were selling you physical gold, there's really not that much money for them to make. Look at all these hedge fund guys. They need the market to continue to go up so they can continue to, well, basically fleece the general public with all their fees, all their commissions, and they need to become wealthy that way. And that's how Wall Street's been wealthy. country since 1980. We've been straight up, right? Pretty much us boomers, we've had a great life. I mean, we leaving you millennials with a little bit of debt. Well, 35 trillion plus 120 trillion, but we're not done yet. We're going to print until we get out of here. That's the only thing us boomers know how to do is print money. We don't know how to make anything anymore. We don't make anything in this country. We ship it all over in cargo ships from other countries. We unload the cargo ships. We load them up with dollar bills, send them out. Dollar bills is the only thing we make, right? We export our inflation to the world, and the world is going to inflate. Hyperinflation is going to come to the United States. Now, granted, there is an alternative. They could find fiscal responsibility. Who's going to do that? I mean, you wouldn't get elected to a public office. Everybody wants free money. Everybody wants stimulus checks. Everybody wants the free lunch. Look, you're going to have to pay for this eventually, and I hope I don't get to see it, but I know I will because it is imminent. About 3 years at the most, maybe. Some people say we have as long as 5. I'll be impressed if we get out to 5. Some people say we don't have 6 months. It's all how you look at it. But this whole thing, look, when you were a kid, did you ever play dominoes, right? And then you push the first one. What happened to the rest of them? They all went down, right? Okay, when you were a kid, you built the house with the playing cards, right? And you built it and you got it going up in the air and you got as high as you could. And then all of a sudden you made one mistake and the whole thing came tumbling down. Oh, this is what's going to happen. This is what the future is. I don't mean to be like negative. There's going to be a lot of opportunities in the future. If you're sitting on some dry powder, if you're sitting on some gold and silver, you're going to have opportunities like you would not believe what's coming. I mean, that's just my take. Yours may be completely different, but I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity. Look, this is all intertwined. We talked about this a little bit. Look at the banks, right? The banks, okay, they own that commercial paper, the 137 million that turned into 12 million. Who got hurt? Well, the person that bought it for 137 million, but the bank, they had a loan on that for 50 million and they only got 12 million. I guess that's only an 80% loss for them. Think about that. 80% of the money that you put in the bank is going to be wiped out. You think you're going to get your money back? You're not going to get your money back. The banks aren't safe. But Mike, the FDIC will come in and they'll print all the money. And that's probably true, right? How long do you think it'll take them to get that bank back open and get you your money? I don't know, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months. It's going to take them a while before you see your money. I actually think they're going to go the other way. I think they're going to be bail-ins because you see, you can't get rid of this inflation problem with more printing of money because that just exacerbates the problem. That just sends us into the hyperinflation mode. That sends us into Zimbabwe. They probably heard of Zimbabwe. $1 trillion doesn't buy you a loaf of bread. $1 trillion. But Mike, I'm almost a millionaire. Great. You probably will get a cup of coffee someday with that. It's scary what's going on. I say protect yourself. I say get some gold, get some silver. As long as they're going to continue to print money into oblivion, gold and silver is going to outperform other assets. It's just the way it's going to work. It's going to outperform the stock market. Yes, the stock market's going up, but what's really happening? Well, it's going down in real prices. Houses are staying up here. They're staying elevated, but what's really happening? They're already starting to crash against real money. Inflation rate running about 6, 8, 10%. Nobody knows for sure. Government will tell you it's only 4%. Maybe that you go with their numbers. Even with their numbers, houses are coming down already. It's the dollar. The dollar. You see the house run up in the last 3 years. What we gone up? 40%. Houses didn't go up. We printed 40% more money. You've lost that purchasing power. Go to the grocery store. Just in the last 2 years, 37% inflation in the cost of food, and it's not coming back down. It's actually still heading higher. That's what they don't tell you. They tell you inflation's under control. It was at 9. Now the way we measure it's at 4. We took out some more things. We don't even count that food because that's gone up too much. Why put that in the inflation numbers? It's gone up so much. We don't want to count that. It's only 4% inflation. Go to the grocery store. It's going to get ugly. Look at, I feel sorry for poor people. They cannot afford groceries. They cannot afford to put the gas in their car to get to work. Poor people are struggling. They are living on a financial cliff. This financial edge is going to give way and it's all going to come tumbling down. Look at people. Right now, people, like you can look at Dave Ramsey, Barbara Cochran, great time to buy a house, right? Look at people cannot afford 70 to 80% of their income to go to their mortgage, to go to their house payment, to go to their utility bills, to go to their property tax. They cannot afford that. It's not right. 30% is close to normal. It's getting up to 70% in some areas. It's ridiculous. Look at this thing will revert back to the mean. You can listen to the Moon Boys. They'll tell you the Dow's going to 100,000, and maybe the Dow does hit 100,000. What's the value of your dollar going to be if the Dow's at? I'm telling you, protect yourself. The dollar's collapsing. Protect yourself. Get some gold. Gold will go 1-to-1 with the Dow. Now, I don't think the Dow's going to 100,000. I think its bottom resting place is going to be around 10,000. And I think that's where gold will meet at about 1-to-1. That's just my take. Yours is completely different. Why? Because you're a Moon Boy. I know the Moon Boys are out there watching me. I see you. I can see you out there. Anyways, if you like this stuff, give me the thumbs up. Punch the subscribe button. Get out there, everybody. Enjoy the day. I'm Tall Mike. Bye-bye.